this Mazukulu at the ceremonial ground. Your Excellency, sir, to bring you to program today, we have been here since 7 o'clock with the title of National Youth for Patriotism, a National Symposium, Investment Symposium. And our theme is Patriotism for Socio-Economic Transformation. That's the reason we are here to celebrate the young patriots and our senior patriot, who's Shujaa.
The Uganda Medical Association applauded the president for having increased the salaries for scientists and improving healthcare services across the country.
To thank you so much. As health workers here, Your Excellency, you can see we are happier. At least our welfare. You've been the engine behind the improved welfare of health workers. That right now, the least paid health worker who is an enrolled nurse and 1.4 million shillings from 600,000.
Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
Thank you so much, Philip Aguta, for the updates. President Museveni has said most of the silence that have been attempting to cause havoc by killing security personnel have either been put out of action or killed. Wakiso District National Unity Platform Committee member Dennis Sechimpi was among those reportedly killed while attacking security personnel in Kapeka. Details follow.
On Saturday, 26th of November 2022, a silence ambushed a security patrol at a music concert dubbed Storm Shelter Concert in Kapeka, killing a UPDF officer identified as Obed.
The school or something like that. I know Kapeka, but I don't know where they're talking of a playground. A joint UPDF police patrol consisting of 5 personnel under ASP Raymond Mushuni was tasked to ensure security of the event. As the patrol went about its work, it was attacked by criminals, during which Private Tufeyo Obed was shot dead. A soldier was shot dead at night. This was at night.
Security opened fire and killed 2 of the attackers. One Tarasis Marengera, a Burundi national, also casual worker on one of the farms in Kapeka. Another identified as Sekimpi Dennis, a resident of Namusera, Wakiso district.
Where he owns some rentals and is a member of NUP, Executive Committee of Wakiso district. This Sekimpi, who was killed in Kapeka, having attacked the patrol of the police.
Preliminary forensic findings connect Sekimpi Dennis to the recent attacks on police stations and robberies using stolen guns.
So that Sekimpi Dennis has been a serial robber using the very gun that was recovered from Kapeka and others he got by killing security guards. On 30th October 2022, he shot dead a security guard by the names of Tumwine Badru at Bukomero town and took away the gun.
Security basing on the leads, several other Sekimpi associates were arrested, especially in Kampala Metropolitan.
Working with him were Muonge Farouk, alias Vincenta, alias Salongo, Manyamangi. Then the other one, Biamukama Ivan, alias Afande. Then another one, Kaiso Innocent, and Mpande Muonge alias Mose. All these have been arrested. Barundi, Ndagijimana Charles, and Sabu Mukunzi Muhammad. This part of the world is, you can see the chaos in the region.
The president confirmed that some arrests have been made and investigations are ongoing to get other culprits connected to the incident of Busika in which policemen were shot dead.
The attack on Busika, They are still looking for these people. Some have been arrested, but I don't want to talk about it here because it may interfere.
On 17th of November 2022, assailants killed Sergeant Eyagu Simon Peter at Amber Court at Gaddafi Barracks in Jinja. They took away with a gun. The hunt for the attackers led to the recovery of stolen guns, and the attacker, identified as Private Arisobora Moses, was put out of action.
During the recovery operation conducted by the UPDF and police, they identified this character who had been a former soldier, who had deserted and had come and killed, because he knew the barracks, he came and killed this fellow, I think also was not alert. Could have been the work of some 2 UPDF deserters who had been arrested before but escaped from prison. 3 UPDF soldiers have since been arrested.
The president, however, assured the public that security will not leave any stone unturned in the fight against terror activities of the ADF.
I want to assure the public that these are very shallow type of actions which should not worry you, because those which are linked with ADF, ADF is being destroyed in Congo by very powerful actions there. Now, here they may try to rob money, because they are now in a bad situation in Congo.
President urged the public to be patient as some security operations inconvenience their day-to-day businesses, but intend to weed out security threats. Abdul Nasser Lubwama, UBC News.
Now, the president has also pledged to support the Indian company that is extending services to Karamoja sub-region for their continued support to its government of Uganda. This was during the commissioning of Shree Sahajanand School in Nakawa Division. As details show.
Located in Bukoto, Nakawa Division in Kampala, Shree Sahajanand School sits on a 30-acre land to serve a population of over 1,000 learners. Sahajanand is a mega pre and primary school which has been constructed to meet national education standards. President Yoweri Museveni, who commissioned this school, applauded the Indian community who have put in efforts to improve academic standards in the country. Museveni pledged to support them in other developments.
They have contributed a lot in that sector of sugar for a long time. And many others are active in other areas. So therefore, I welcome the efforts of this group. I thank you for the church, for the mosque, the temple. It's a good temple, very good looking. I thank you for the school and for the hospital. But above all, I thank you for the steel, for the cement factory, which you are now spreading to Karamoja. You are most welcome, and we shall give you all the support.
The Minister for Kampala, Hajat Mensa Kabanda, witnessed the launch and asked the Shree community to construct more schools of this nature to uplift education standards in the country.
So grateful for what is being done here, and I should take this opportunity to thank this community, the Shree Sahajanand School community, for this achievement. And I encourage them to put up more. And I should thank them in camera because they have given us another building in Makerere University.
The principal Shree Sahajanand School, Moses Kirinya, says the school has been designed to not only provide academic excellence, but also hands-on skills.
We expect Ugandans to benefit from the school, not only children from the Asian origin, but it's a school that's going to be on the national curriculum, So examinations are going to be UNEB. So I expect people in Nakawa Division, people in Central Division, even some parts of Wachiso to come and join this institution. We are going to provide high quality education, a model that has come in to complement what is now in our national curriculum.
Shaidat Nasaku, Mary Namukose, UBC News.
In more news, Congolese have suffered in a number of separate ADF attacks that involve killings, abuse and other violations against humanity. These inhumane acts by the ADF have left many Congolese traumatized and rely on the support from the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Harun Amtesa reports.
Armed members of Allied Democratic Forces ADF effectively waged a war against unarmed and defenseless civilians. The war in eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo can be reflected on the faces of Congolese citizens. They, ADF, target young girls mainly for sex. Kavira Doka, 17 years old, was abducted at Katanda in Butembo in August 2021, was forced to get married to ADF commander at the age of 16.
Kufika, nilifikaka nikamaliza miezi mitatu. Baka nigawia mbwana. Kunigawia mbwana tukaishi tu naye mpaka kubeba mimba.
Kahamba Jeremaine, 16 years, Kavira Senzen, 16 years, and Kabugo Maslin were sexually abused by the ADF fighters. These young girls, who are below the age of 17 years, were recently rescued by the UPDF while chasing ADF ragtag fighters.
This is an area that had been covered a lot by the ADF, and since March that the UPDF reached this area, you will notice that the ADF have reduced the activities.
Kavira Doka says ADF have a doctor who first examines the HIV status of a victim before they randomly choose a girl of their choice.
Bananja kupima damu, we mbibi na mbwana kukikuwa mwanagonjwa.
Fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo has dramatically affected the lives of millions of civilians.
That the ADF within the areas of Mwalika and especially here in Karuhamba have been terribly hit. The last 2-3 days, there was a huge hit on one of the ADF commanders called Muraro. We got a lot of equipment from them. A number of them quite were killed. We got a lot of communication gadgets. We saved a lot of women and children who already are in Kalembo. We are going to meet them tomorrow in Kalembo, talk to them and hear what their story is.
At the front line, where UPDF is fighting Allied Democratic Forces in the vast jungles of Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the war is not far, pointing to the hills where the joint forces of FRDC and UPDF battling the scattered ADF rebels. A big number of Congolese civilians have returned home, determined to resume their livelihood. At Kaluluma, those who returned earlier have opened up small markets on the side of the road, selling mangoes, beans, and other essentials. The joint forces in DRC have been able to stop the ADF from terrorizing the local population in Kabaseu, Mwalika, Kalembo, Bulongo, Karuhamba, and along the river Taria, which borders Semrik. Operation Shujaa is a code name of the joint operation for the offensive action against ADF, who are
UPDF cause achievement ya manyi nyo UPDF ne ya FRDC. Twabakubye nnyo.
The operation has so far had 3 phases. Every 2 months, a review is conducted to ascertain the progress of the operation and draw mechanism for the way forward. Haruna Mutesasira reporting for UBC News in Eastern DR Congo.
Moving on from that, Uganda has started collecting data from the recently launched Pearl of Africa's satellite, Uganda's first indigenous satellite. Now, the Minister for Science and Innovation, Dr. Monica Msenero, witnessed the launch and said it will help keep track of disasters and other natural calamities. Uganda's first ever satellite was launched into space on November 2nd aboard an American spaceship at the NASA Control Center in Dallas, Virginia.
November 7th remains a memorable day for Uganda because it was then that Uganda sent her first satellite into space. And today, Uganda joins the rest of the world to harvest data from her satellite.
Pearl Africa Sat-1 from Uganda. Are you ready? Sat 1, we are ready, go!
Today, it has been now launched. It is now independent. It's not attached to anything. It's now rotating around the orbit.
Other than availing information, the satellite will be used to foresee weather changes and prepare for any calamities.
We'll start working and receiving this information and then start working out how to synthesize this and create what we call products, information products, like weather forecasting information, like the mineral prediction or exploration information, like the agriculture and the environment information. So
Dr. Msenero says they are in the process of building more satellites to increase the country's tax base.
The minimum amount of time it will stay there is 18 months, but if it's maintained very well, it will stay for up to 5 years. But during this next 18 months, we are hoping to launch our next satellite.
Experts say data collected from the satellite will be readily available after 4 months for innovators.
Because we don't give the data as we capture it, maybe there may need to be some bit of pre-processing so that we give you what you want. And some of the information may of course be sensitive that you can't just give it out to the public. But once that is sorted, we hope that that process will be completed in the next 3-4 months. And then now we can have this data available free to the user communities. Now, the user communities in this case are not the end users. It will be the innovators who can use this data to develop products.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Moving on from that, Kayunga District local government may soon lose its key institutions after some individuals fraudulently acquired its land titles. Kayunga Chief Administrative Officer Abdul Batambuze says that they have written to the Ministry of Lands to cancel the land titles of the affected institution, but all in vain.
Kayunga District local government is struggling to reclaim a land title of Sana sub-county from individuals who fraudulently acquired it.
This land title is enclosing the sub-county headquarters, it's enclosing the police, it's enclosing the prisons, and is also enclosing the health center 3.
The situation is not different from that in Galaya sub-county.
Someone went and surveyed the land, including the entire school, also including a prison there in Galilaya, and is having already a title. But this is a government school which someone is grabbing. Even in Galilaya again, there is another individual who is tussling it out with the district. He wants to grab the health center 3.
The district has written to the Minister of Lands to cancel the land titles of the affected institutions.
I've not heard from Minister of Lands requesting them to cancel that title to save the government institutions which are being given to an individual in that land.
Residents of Kayunga district have also been blamed for supporting land grabbers.
Even the public who are served by those very institutions, instead of waking up and assisting themselves and the government, they keep on backing the grabber.
But the residents blame the district for failing to establish area land zonal office in the district register land, though the Chief Administrative Officer Abdul Batambuze denies this.
Mukono district has a land office, it has a registrar. What about Kayunga Town Council? Why don't we receive our own registrar, over who he will be charged with registering land, particularly, specifically in Kayunga?
No, we can't have offices because this is a government policy. This Ministry of Lands and Urban Development zonal offices were placed at specific regional centers. The EMUZO of Mukono serves the greater Mukono.
This was asked at a local accountability meeting dubbed Baratha, held by the Office of the Prime Minister in Kayunga Town Council. Joseph Okow, UBC.
The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera has called upon the newly elected leaders of Uganda Association of Prosecutors to prioritize matters concerning prosecutors so as to improve their performance. Butera communicated this while presiding over the elections of Uganda Association of Prosecutors held in Kira, Wakiso District. Angutoko Immaculate was elected as the president for the association. Take a look.
The Deputy Chief Justice Richard Butera has presided over the Uganda Association of Prosecutors elections held in Kira that saw Angutoko Immaculate as the newly elected president after she garnered 130 votes against Subarima Peter with 53 votes.
In your leadership, it's important that you serve with humility, meekness, honesty, and this is the only way you can achieve the objectives of the association. That
Butera rectified the need to address the gaps faced by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
I know that efforts are underway by everybody in our sector to see to it that the number of prosecutors is increased, particularly in the short run, to match the increase in the judiciary coverage of the court structure. There are also efforts aimed at advocating for your welfare, and hereby everybody in the sector, I would say.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Lady Justice Jan Francis Sabodo, applauded the outgoing leadership for instilling unity among prosecutors. Abodo, however, appealed for more support towards the office of the DPP.
Aware of the challenges that we have, and I don't count. Already we got a salary increment, my lord, and the president gave a directive that our salaries are enhanced and taxes removed. That directive is there, it came in August, and we are working hard to make sure that the other part is also done, that the taxes are removed. Opportunity to really, from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of top management, to thank the outgoing executive. They have been really, really very cooperative.
Although the outgoing executive's tenure was affected by the COVID-19, achievements were listed as the former UAP Baguma Batson highlights.
Able to put up a website for the UAP. It is now running and you are encouraged to visit it, make use of it through writing articles, books and all that.
The new elected president for UAP, Angutoko Immaculate, commended prosecutors for instilling their trust in her and promised more service delivery.
To consolidate the gains made by the previous executive, that includes the outgoing and the other previous ones as well. So looking forward to appealing to members, reaching out to members, and together with the new team of executive in delivering.
Other executive members of the UAP include the Vice President Tuhire Julius and Treasurer Annette Nablobi. The committee will serve for a term of 3 years. Rebecca Nantongo, Ivan Joko, UBC News.
In more stories, government has announced that they will broadcast and print out samples of genuine and original certificates of COVID-19 vaccination in order to avoid duplication. The move comes in following the new presidential resurrection of COVID-19 measures, where it was declared mandatory for every Ugandan to carry a COVID certificate while heading for a public gathering. Details follow.
To appeal to all of you.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has resurrected the COVID-19 standard operating procedures.
Number one, a certificate of vaccination with evidence of up-to-date boosting is a requirement for entry into formal meetings and public places.
The new measures have, however, thrown the country into wider discussions, with many anticipating that they are likely to inconvenience many.
And the measures which government has announced are mainly to ensure that there is a compliance with the requirement to get the full dose of vaccination.
However, the Minister in charge of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Wayomosi, justifies the move.
That COVID-19 is still around because there is compliances which had set in for people to think that COVID-19 is no more, and yet World Health Organization has not yet declared it over. We've been monitoring as a government, as a country, and what we saw in the past weeks that we saw a slight increase in the positivity rates, because the positivity rate was averaging about 0.4%, but we saw an increase to 1.2%.
The revised recommendations by the National COVID-19 Task Force, where Dr. Chris Baryomos sits, are meant to keep COVID-19 under check.
We are going to be publishing on television and other public platforms the genuine cards, how they look like, so that the organizers can be able to differentiate between the forged certificates and the genuine certificates. But our appeal is that why would anybody want to forge a certificate to pretend that he or she has been vaccinated when he has not?
Accordingly, the new measures are subject to immediate implementation and compliance.
The organizers of events carry that burden. For instance, if you have organized a meeting, then it is your duty to ensure that before the invitees can access the venue for the meeting, then they show proof to you that they have been vaccinated against COVID-19 or they have a negative COVID results which they took in the last 24 hours.
Government is, however, urging all eligible Ugandans to go for COVID-19 vaccination.
The President also directed that the Ministry of Health should relaunch the vaccination campaign so that Ugandans who are eligible for vaccination, i.e. those who are above 12 years of age, should come out and utilize all these vaccines which we have. And we would want to further reassure the public that the vaccines are safe and efficacious. There should be no reason as to why anybody should fear taking these COVID vaccines. There is no evidence that anybody has been harmed by these vaccines.
Ugandans are also expected to adhere to the measures to ensure that COVID-19 does not re-emerge. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Robert Onyango, for the updates on the new COVID measures in all public places. Now, the Ministry of Teso Affairs has earmarked 300 million Ugandan shillings to facilitate the construction of Alwasid Secondary School in Kabiramaido District. Minister of State for Teso Affairs, Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, says his ministry is committed to improving the quality of learning environment in Teso sub-region.
Alwasid Secondary School in Kabiramaido District has been operating under the dilapidated temporary structures and sometimes under trees since its inception.
The students were there, they needed education, but we couldn't wait for the school to be constructed. We started, government came in and started with the biggest task of paying the staff. So that made our work very easy.
The sorrow state of the school attracted the attention of the Ministry of Teso Affairs for financial intervention for its facelift.
So this 300 million is going to give us 4 classroom blocks. It's a 4 classroom block, and then an office, and then some 5 stanza, the toilet with the 5 stanzas.
The school management is now expecting an increase in the school enrollment after the completion of the new structures.
The enrollment is going to go up because we are bordering Dokolo, and Dokolo is our neighboring district, so we shall get a number of students from there.
The Minister for State for Teso Affairs, Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote, says his ministry is committed to improve the quality of learning environment in Teso sub-region.
We've done a lot of work in Teso since we took over this ministry. We have a school in Kapelebiong, we have a school in Kalaki, we have a school in Soroti, we have another one in Ngora, and today we have this one and many others.
Ongalo was presiding over the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction in Alwa sub-county, Kabiramaido district. Meanwhile, the Ministry of State Affairs has also supported the district with another 300 million shillings for the rehabilitation of Kobulubulu Okile Road, worth 10 kilometers.
So there is a gap here, almost a lacuna. They do not have enough funds to work on this road. Ministry of Works works on this one, and yet most of their revenue is lying here, untapped. And once we open this road for them, they will be able to tap it. That is the meaning of affirmative action.
The road is said to be paramount in boosting tax base of the district by linking the traders to Okile Weekly Market and landing site. Joseph Okow, UBC.
Now, plans are underway to pay off the landlords under the Land Fund, a move which will secure tenancy and occupancy. This was part of the communication by the Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba, who has been to Kitagwenda and Lyantonde on a 3-day working tour.
Recently, members of parliament from Kitagwenda district alerted the August House of a land matter in Nyabiga and Obihanda sub-county, where hundreds of residents are allegedly facing eviction by those claiming to be landlords.
Whereby the 6 villages were almost being evicted by one who is claiming to be the owner of the land.
Lands Minister Judith Nabakoba visited the locus to confirm and allay fears. Minister Nabakoba convened a stakeholders meeting in the area, and residents denounced one Tadeo Muchuni who claims being the landowner.
Requesting the Resident District Commissioner, Kitagwenda District, provide with us with security for the said subdivision exercise on our lands, which some of us have stayed uninterrupted for 60 years and above.
What we have agreed with the community and the leaders for the status quo to remain, but also no activity of boundary opening should take place. We are going to investigate deeply. We have given ourselves 2 months to investigate the matter conclusively, to come up with concrete recommendations.
Nabakoba noted that any eviction in the area contravenes the earlier directive by the President of Uganda in regards to eviction.
The bona fide occupants should be protected on any piece of land in Uganda. The directive was given to the RDCs. And in case they get any disturbances, they can always get back to us in the Ministry of Lands for further guidance. What we want is people to live in harmony, but also to live in peace.
The minister also toured Lyantonde district. The recent notification of vacation of residents from Buyaga Central Forest Reserve by National Forest Authority and the Ministry of Water is what has left many in suspense. As many claim they have occupied the area for years, they either want the government to compensate them or secure and degazette the land.
What developments are there? Because we have seen there is a sub-county, there are health centers, there are schools, there is electricity. All that infrastructure has been put in place by government, and there are settlements in that area. So the status report will be taken to the Prime Minister, who is now chairing the Cabinet Subcommittee on Environmental Matters, and we shall be in position to deliberate on that and see how to take the report to His Excellency.
Another land dispute matter is in Kizinda, Kashagama sub-county still in Lyantonde district, where a one Moses Mandi is attempting to evict squatters from his 20-acre piece of land.
Because we hear that there is a land fund, let the minister help us and the Mandi be compensated.
However, on behalf of government, Mr. Nabakoba promised that this land will be secured for the residents, since Mande is also willing to sell it off.
The
law is very clear. It should be negotiation, and the parameters are clearly noted, all spelled out in the Land Act. So I have told the landlord that much as you are the landlord, you are the holder of the title, evictions are non-existent. We don't expect an eviction to be carried out. In case you are to enter into dialogue, it should be peaceful dialogue, peaceful negotiation with the people.
Navakova's three-day working tour in the region also saw her drum up support for government projects like PDM, nurses and Operation Wave Creation among communities. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Turkish community, together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, have bid farewell to the Turkish ambassador to Uganda. Fikret Karamalp, who has been in the country for the last 4 years, described Uganda as a safe country for investment and to live in. Now, the occasion was graced by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, General Jeje Odong, in Nakawa. Details follow.
Turkish ambassador to Uganda, Karim Alp's service to the country has been described as eventful and successful. The ambassador stressed how development and achievements have attained.
Contributed to cultural development. We now have a Yunus Emre Institute within Makerere University. We have done a lot together with our benevolence, our NGOs who were already operating here, from Koboko to Sironko, from Yumbe to Kabale.
The ambassador applauded the Ugandan security for a good work done during his journey, where he described the country as a safe place to live in.
For me, I have found a very safe country when I arrived here. I was walking from my residence to the embassy. Then I got tired of walking, so I bought my own boda pichi. So I have been riding to my office. Then I even bought a tuk-tuk. Sorry, Hasham, I haven't been your client, but I have been always riding two wheels, 3 wheels, stuff like that. So, but it was important for us to have good cooperation with the police, so that anyone who had a problem coming here in Uganda, he knew that the Turkish embassy, together with the Ugandan police, will always cover their back. They would have their safety net.
Bidding his farewell, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, General Jeje Odong, thanked the ambassador for strengthening the relationship between the two countries, where the country saw its first Turkey-Uganda Investment Summit.
High note of that deepening and strengthening was exemplified by the visit of His Excellency, the President of Turkey, here to Uganda.
His strength in creating bilateral trade and investment for the two countries was cited.
His Excellency, during his tenure here, truly has galvanized the level of trade between Uganda and Turkey.
The Turkish community applauded the ambassador for creating employment opportunities and also creating a hard-working team at the Turkey embassy that always eases work.
We had several charity campaigns. Enjoyed together glorious opportunities, joining during his tenure several charity campaigns, like we worked with the Turkish Cooperation and Coordination Agency, TICA.
Other guests that graced the occasion included the former Vice President, Edward Sekandi, the State Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anite, and other ambassadors in the country. Lydia Chomkama for UBC News.
Thank you so much, Lydia Chomkama, for the updates on the ambassador leaving the country and farewell to him. We'll take a short commercial break, and when we're back, we'll be looking at our business stories and sports news.
MTN presents Tugende Muchika Day at Kampala Serena Hotel on Saturday, 3rd December 2022. Standard tickets go for 100k, gold 300k, and 3 million for platinum. Or pay 90,000 shillings if you pay using MTN mobile money. Remember, this is only applicable to ordinary tickets. Featuring Eddie Away, Chance Nalubega, Sweet Kid, Kabiye Semboga, Akiki Romeo, Betty Pologuma, Ziggy D, Lady Mariam, Tina Tine, Abdumulasi, and featuring Abeka Band. All this at Kampala Serena Hotel. For reservations, call 0785-961-910. Dress code Retro Style. Sponsored by Elderly Network Foundation, Coca-Cola, Al Breweries Limited, Kadanke, and MTN.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodell Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
Paying for groceries the old way.
3, 4, yeah.
Allow me. Paying for groceries with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to conveniently pay for goods and services. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
That's my wife.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF. Did you know that a cashless, secure and convenient lifestyle is possible with Airtel Money Pay? Pay for your goods and services in the following simple steps. Dial *185*9#. Enter the merchant ID. Enter the amount. Enter payment reference, for example, school items. Please enter PIN to confirm. You will receive a confirmation message for a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Office of the Prime Minister and Presidential CEO Forum Secretariat invites its key captains of the industry to their third biannual private sector CEO retreat on the 5th to the 6th of December 2022 at Chobe Safari Lodge under the theme Unlocking Private Sector Investment Through Strategic Interventions for Social-Economic Transformation. The host and guest speaker will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone, the most affordable smartphone in Uganda. You get to enjoy free 1 GB for 1 whole year. My Airtel 4G smartphone, your best value for money. Visit the nearest Airtel outlet today and get one at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You say I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say for register. Yes. Become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
Not mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and in more stories in our bit from the business desk, the Labour College of East Africa has partnered with Terra Solar Group to ensure all parts of the country have reliable and affordable electricity supply. This was part of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between Labour College and Terra Solar Group at Namwongo.
Labour College of East Africa, which is training youth in various vocational studies, has partnered with Terra Solar Group AG through an MOU aimed at bridging the gap of electricity connection.
The country, to support the country in generating decentralized power. We just heard it, you have areas where you don't have grid, where you even have not enough or no power at all. That's exactly where solar power steps in, because you can produce solar power in very small entities. The smallest is on your rooftop. You can produce your consumption for every house can produce its own consumption. It's very easy.
The Chief Executive Officer at Terra Solar Group, Dade Heimofa, says this partnership will be a key element in extending job creation services to the youth in the country.
We'll generate about 2,500 employees, new jobs, in a very promising future industry. We are also supporting small and medium-sized companies, because that is how an industry is built from scratch.
The Director Labour College of East Africa, Arunete Rakajara, says this partnership is timely in providing electrification to Ugandans.
We must produce Ugandans who are ready to promote alternative, or what they call renewable energy in this country, such that we leave the other old methods of work, not to tamper with our climate changes and our climate environment, to make sure that we have energies that are not dangerous to our society.
He, however, appealed to Ugandans to embrace the renewable energy projects, especially solar, since it's less expensive.
If it is spread everywhere, and it can, if it has this enough current that can run most of our things in our homes, in our small factories, then that we would have solved a big problem. Yes.
$10 million has been injected in the partnership between Labour College of East Africa and Terra Solar Group AG as a deliberate effort to make it more sustainable. Rebecca Natongo, UBC News.
Now, saving and credit cooperative societies in Western Uganda have appreciated government for the COVID-19 relief money, which was essentially helpful to youth and women at a low interest rate. Our reporter visited Liamujungu SACCO in Kawali District and Tungamu Development SACCO.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Uganda government initiated several economic projects to help the public. In Western Uganda, a grant to several savings and credit cooperative societies saved the day and is now bearing fruit and gladly still in circulation. At Liamujungu Savings and Credit Cooperative Society, a 1.1 billion shillings grant was received in a phased manner that has so far witnessed 300 million shillings distributed to youth and women at low interest rates.
We are grateful to the government. They have given us a COVID relief fund where women and youth can get loans at an interest rate of 1.5% per month.
But amidst all success at Liamujungu Savings and Credit Cooperative Society, the issue of defaulting still lingers.
Are not very clear on which particular law they should go with, because there seems to be two conflicting laws. We have the Cooperative Societies Act, Cap 112. That one we are very conversant with, because we have been with it for quite a long time. But then we have the Tier 4 Money Lenders and Microfinance Act.
The other challenge affecting savings and credit cooperative societies is multiple borrowing caused by poor appraisal by respective loan departments.
First and foremost, I want to tell you the challenge of defaulting is not in Tungamu Development SACCO alone. Even in commercial banks, they have a problem of defaulting. But of course, the remedy to defaulting is that our loans officers must be extra careful when appraising a loan, because a loan is defaulted at the time of appraisal.
The director, Global High School, Agrebia Rugaba, who is also a member of Ntungamo SACCO, says government's offer to schools to borrow from commercial banks is a welcome gesture.
Government came in, I'm aware, because government came in and they used the commercial banks and they put money that schools should borrow at reduced interest of 1%. And the government, when the school requests for a loan from those commercial banks, then the bank gives 50% and the government gives 50%.
Lastly, in our business stories, Bank of Uganda has constructed and handed over Mutebile Maternity Block at Rubaya Health Center for Indora County, West Kabale District at a cost of 400 million Ugandan shillings. This was done in memory of the late Governor, Bank of Uganda, Professor Emmanuel Tumusime Mutebile. Details follow.
Ugandan rice farmers are expected to embrace a new improved high-yielding aromatic rice variety from the Korean Republic, now at final stages of trials.
We actually thought we would release it this month, but it was deferred to January of next year. So this, we think, is going to be a flagship variety for the next phase of the project.
Kafasi 39, which is an irrigated ecology variety, is expected to replace local varieties to meet a high yield and consumption rate of rice in the country.
So meaning we have now better varieties for irrigated ecology, which will replace all these kinds of varieties with a 9 variety. So that's the advantage.
Ugandan rice farmers are, however, expected to get new skills on how to handle the new variety for better outputs.
Also, this project helps us to transfer knowledge and technologies from South Korea that has grown rice, and you can see their productivity is high at about 8 tons per hectare, compared to ours, which is about 2.5 metric tons per hectare. Very low.
The aspect of water for irrigation was emphasized for better outputs during a joint stakeholder meeting held by COPIA in Kampala.
Today, as we talk about aromatic rice, it's mainly produced in the lowland areas, in the slums. But today we understand farmers being moved away from the production areas. We're talking about aspects of water. And then irrigation, is it going to work out along those lines?
This follows a memorandum of understanding that was signed between Korean Program on International Agriculture and National Agricultural Research Organization.
It is much larger in rice cultivation area, and the farmers and the rice consumption is growing rapidly. We look forward to hearing good news in the future. And the rice technology development the project will be completed this year, and it will be extended to farmers demonstration project over the next step from next year.
A 3-year project is to be implemented by National Agricultural Research Organization, supported by the Korean government through Korean Program on International Agriculture. Joseph Oko, UBC.
Now that's all we had for you today. Thank you so much for watching UBC News Tonight that started at 8 p.m. and it's just 1 minute to 9 p.m. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely night and a blessed day. Good night.
MTN presents Tugende Muchika Day at Kampala Serena Hotel on Saturday, 3rd December 2022. Standard tickets go for 100k, gold 300k, and 3 million for platinum. Or pay 90,000 shillings if you pay using MTN mobile money. Remember, this is only applicable to ordinary tickets. Featuring Eddie Away, Chance Nalubega, Sweet Kid, Kawiye Semboga, Akiki Romeo, Betty Pologoma, Ziggy D, Lady Mariam, Tina Tine, Abdumulasi, and featuring Wake Up Band. All this at Kampala Serena Hotel. For reservations, call 0785-961-910. Dress code Retro Style. Sponsored by Elderly Network Foundation, Coca-Cola, Al Breweries Limited, Kadanke, and MTN.
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint.
Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your beauty